what you're worth. Now go out and get what you're worth.
I'm gonna show you how great I am.
Welcome to the Steel City. Is everybody ready to go? Let's proclaim the greatest radio show. Jim Cella and Johnny Parlay with the facts. So relax, grab a drink, then let's get back.
Hey Pittsburgh, how's everybody doing tonight? I am Jim Cella, and this is The Spread. I am sitting in today with JDash. How you doing?
All right, how you doing, man?
I'm hanging in there, buddy. Having a good night. We're going to talk a little bit about the Steelers today. You can follow us at bet_thespread on Twitter if you want to follow us on Twitter and don't want to listen to us babble all day long. The Steeler game last night, you look at some of these stats here, and it's pretty easy to tell why they lost the game. They got outrushed. They didn't create any turnovers. They didn't get any sacks. It pretty much was just an offensive night all around.
Yeah, listen, I know it was a short week, but it was a short week for Baltimore too, and it was just a terrible game for the Steelers in all facets.
And you think with all the drama surrounding the Ravens all week long that would be a big enough distraction that the Steelers should have had an advantage, and they definitely didn't take advantage of anything.
Well, I mean, you can look at it the other way, too. Baltimore could have came out pumped up because of the whole situation, too. You never know really about that, but either way, the Steelers ain't going to win anything if they don't get any better than this. What, they've been outscored 47-9 in the past 6 quarters?
Something like that.
Oh,
it's
my
pathetic.
God.
And the Browns almost beat them with Bubby Hoyer.
Yeah, there's nothing really positive to take out of this game. I guess Le'Veon Bell still looked good. He didn't have as good as a game as last week, but, I mean, he still looked all right. And
yeah.
then, our receivers really didn't do nothing, but what's his name did all right?
Wheaton,
yeah, he looked pretty good.
Yeah, Bell, he had only 59 yards on 11 carries and no touchdowns. That's a far cry from his 21 for 109 and 1 TD from last week. But, I mean, you can't expect him to put up a lot of yards with no attempts. He had a 5.9-yard average, so why wasn't Haley giving him the ball more?
I mean, the entire team, they didn't even have 100 yards rushing. They were 1 yard under. I mean, it's just unacceptable. They got to get above that. Look at Baltimore. They rushed 36 times for 157 yards. They're killing our defense.
And, I understand that our offense has moved on more to, kind of a fast-paced, no-huddle offense, but these Steeler-Baltimore games are always hard-nosed games. You have to run the football and control the line of scrimmage, and Baltimore definitely controlled it offensively and defensively.
You can run the football out of no-huddle, too. They got to run more no-huddle.
Well, they got to definitely get. Todd Haley is just terrible. I'm sorry, guys. Snoop Dogg knows what he's talking about for once in his life. Okay.
Yeah, that's a ridiculous comment, but it's true.
I've been a Steeler fan my whole life, and I've never seen an offense that's this offensive. I mean, his plays are okay, but his play calling is terrible. And unless he just lets Ben go no huddle and call the plays in the order that he wants them, we're going to have a long, long season.
Yeah, listen, Haley needs fired, but it's not all on him. Ben was off, too. He didn't have a touchdown for the first time in 30 games?
30 games, yeah. It's been a long time since we haven't seen Ben Roethlisberger throw a touchdown.
His passes were just way off all night. He got to get better. The whole team got to get better.
Early in the game, you seen him take a helmet right into that right shoulder hard, and in the replay, you see him wince, and then he hits the ground hard. So, I mean, his shoulder probably wasn't feeling that great, but that's no excuse for the kind of game he had last night.
They got to cut down on the penalties, too. 9 for 75 yards. That's just ridiculous. Look at Baltimore, 4 for 35.
Yeah, and I don't want to hear people crying and saying that the refs cost us the game. Oh, the flags for the late hits, the flags for the unnecessary roughness. Listen, that's the way of the game, and if you don't adjust, you're going to die, and that's just life. It's been that way since the dinosaurs. If you can't adjust to the new rules, you're not going to be a successful team, and their defense has not been successful.
Yeah, their defense just looks terrible. No sacks, and 2 weeks in a row? Oh, no. Did Pierce get 100 yards or no? He was just under, I think.
No, Pierce, he definitely had 100 yards.
He did. West had 100 last week, so that's 2 in a row then.
2 in a row, and the Steelers used to go 30 or 40 straight games without. It was news when the Steelers let up a 100-yard rusher. Now it happens every single week.
Yeah, I mean, their whole defensive line needs an upgrade.
I want to know how Cam Thomas can be 340 pounds and get pushed around like I'm out there playing on the line, and I weigh like $165.
Yeah, it's just terrible. I'm sick of this team already. I just want to watch baseball.
And we added a lot a lot of speed to the defense with Shazier, and apparently Mike Mitchell was supposed to be an upgrade over Ryan Clark, but
he looks terrible.
He does. They need to, if he can't figure this out, they just got to start playing Shamarko.
Shamarko Thomas got to be playing already. Mike Mitchell, yeah, they say he can hit, but he can't tackle. You got to be able to tackle. You can't just hit.
Yeah, you're not allowed to run and missile your head into people anymore. You got to wrap them up and play real football.
The refs looked terrible. The whole game was pathetic. The refs were horrible. That one play, they said Polamalu hit him in the head or whatever, led with something. I don't even know what it was. It was freaking ballroom dancing.
Yeah, it's getting bad now. The flags, it's too much, and this goes back to the league wanting it to be safer, quote unquote, because they're afraid to get lawsuits from these former players that keep cropping up. So they're trying to cover their ass and make the game not what it used to be and not what it should be. It's a physical game and it's a violent game. It's a game of men trying to beat the crap out of the other guy to win. That's
it. But other way, man. Offense, defense, special teams, they're terrible. I'm just sick of it. The defense got to do you think LeBeau's scheme's outdated, or
as much as I love Dick LeBeau, he just cannot figure out today's quick, fast-paced offense. He has no answer for it.
It's a totally different game. This isn't the football we used to watch in the 90s.
No, there's no 2 yards and a cloud of dust on the ground anymore, and he's not getting the play calls in on time. You've seen the D lineman on one of the plays that they had. 3 guys hit the same A gap, and then they just ran it straight past them to the other side. If you can't get the players in there to do what they're supposed to do, you got to get somebody in there who can. And I love Dick LeBeau, and I would never say force him out, but it may be time for old Dick to retire.
Yeah, the Steelers have Carolina this week. They go into Carolina, so they got a lot of work to do this week because they need a win.
Yeah, and Cam Newton ain't no joke. He's going to come with a lot of thunder. He didn't play, last week, so he's had a lot of time to rest and think about this game, and I'm worried. I really am. I don't think this is going to be a good week for the Steelers, even with the extended time off.
I agree.
Well, that wraps up this segment, guys. I want to thank everybody for listening. Thank you, Dash, for sitting in here, hanging out with me for a little bit.
No problem.
Always love talking sports.
All right, well, take care, everyone.
Everybody have a good night.